What is up, guys? Welcome back to Truth and Transparency. Back at home. Back in the office with tons of stuff. CAD notes delivered. More CAD notes and 911s delivered. More reports delivered. Priority mail. We got it all right here. Welcome back to the Transparency. I got lots to say. Let's do this.
Listen, folks, I know there's a history here. I'd like to get this hearing in today. You know, everybody needs to just focus on the relevant facts, okay? I know there's a history here. I know.
Are you talking up by Sunset Mart? Up the hill by the gas station?
Yeah.
Okay. Why did you? All right. Who's responsible here?
What's that?
Who's responsible here? Whose house is this?
Yeah, haven't been drinking or anything, right?
No.
Okay. Drive careful, okay?
Thank you.
This is when the other group had the runaway.
Oh, really? You just ditched it? Awesome.
Yeah, those ones kept walking in the car. And the other one.
It's truly for the win.
That I was given to. So there was 2 different discs. Okay? They all knew about it.
We're not here to talk about the alcohol stuff, okay?
Okay, yeah.
But this is the second noise complaint we've had here tonight within 2 hours.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Is this your place?
Yeah.
Perfect. You know why we're here?
I see noise.
Noise, yeah.
Yeah.
Big speaker right there.
Yeah.
Nothing against having a party. Once neighbors start calling in, then we have an issue.
Like brains, and like if you need a lot of brains, you're gonna be in trouble.
All right, guys. Again, welcome back. Hopefully you guys had a great Christmas, whatever it is that you celebrate. Merry Christmas, everybody. I've been out and about, so it's nice to be back in my space where I have my printer, where I have my monitors. My laptop usually makes its way with me, but yeah, I got all my goods. So, but again, Merry Christmas to all the members, subscribers, lurkers, moderators. Not sure if you guys are back at work today. Not sure if you guys have the day off, but what you hear in the background is 362 pages being print right now. Because my computer, my laptop, it's Wi-Fi to my printer, and it picked up on stuff that I wanted to print when I was out of town, and I realized that I was hitting the wrong button. Well, here, these smart devices literally saved my booty, because this is stuff that I didn't think I was going to be able to get, and now I'm home, and it remembered that I had sent this to it, and I'm like, No way. I'm like, this is the best Christmas gift ever. So I just saved about 362 pages worth of documents that I needed. Talk about just amazingness. It's amazing to me. Want to pick up where we left off. I had asked for stuff from Bonner County 911 calls. I asked for all the CAD notes. And what they did is they sent me, I got 2 discs, and CAD notes are all the radio, all the, like when stuff's being talked about over the radio dispatch. Okay. So what they did is they're redacted, but I got the night of the homicide, all the CAD notes, all the radio activity, and what people were saying to each other. Okay, now the thing that sucks is, I don't know about you guys, but who has a CD player nowadays? Anybody have CD players? I don't have a CD player, but I do have a PlayStation. So, will this play out of a PlayStation? I don't know. But that is from Bonner County, and it has to do with the Dr. Drake, Dr. Moore case. Okay? Then I thought about going in someone's car and listening to it who has a CD player, because I don't have a CD player in my vehicle either. But you guys are saying that, will my PlayStation play this? I don't have a CD player in my car. The SUV only has, it's all smart. Everything's, I don't know. It's too new, I guess. So can you give me this on a thumb drive so I can just plug it right in? Well, then I said, wait, my laptop that I have, my new one. No, it doesn't take DVDs or CD player. But my old HP handy dandy clunker over here, whip this B out. Okay. And this B, okay, this old school one, it has a DVD player. Look at that. So I said, now I just got to find the cord. And I did. I found the cord to plug it in. But she's a dusty thing. Had to whip that out I don't even know where I found it. Where all the appliances and electronics were that I no longer need, I guess. But today I'm going to need it. So, who would ever thought that they're sending these out, but nobody has CD players to play them in anymore, But yeah, so there's that. And we're going to come back to all that. Dude, what is up with Megyn Kelly? Megyn Kelly, the only thing that's good about what she's talking about right now is her looks. Thank God Megyn Kelly is a fine-looking broad, because I don't know what she's talking about with the Kohlberger case, right? Megyn Kelly talking about the Kohlberger case. But just thank God she's good looking, because I don't know what she's talking about, right? 22nd, 29th, that looks like it goes like that. This is almost done printing, so you won't hear that in the background anymore. So I got a lot of emails while I was, taking just a few days I traveled on Christmas Eve in the morning. I flew. So I really only had basically yesterday where I felt like I didn't do anything, but I still kind of did. I had a great time with the fam. But all of a sudden, Megyn Kelly wants to talk about the Idaho4 case. People started writing me about that. What do I think? Now we got the demolition going on. So I want to talk about a little bit about that. I'm going to talk about a little about everything and something that we're going to be doing is right now we will have the Demolition live 24/7 once they begin the demolition. Right now it's still on. I don't know if people are watching me. Just giving them a heads up. You do not need a lawyer to file a civil suit. Okay, you can do it pro se. Believe that or not, you can do it pro se. So if people are saying to the Gonzalez's and other families, we can't find anybody that wants to take on the university, we can't find any lawyers that want to take on the university, well, okay, then do it yourselves. File the lawsuit yourself. File it pro se. Get some help, legal aid. But if it's something that you really truly want, you don't need a lawyer to do it. You don't. That's what's great about our country. So you don't need a lawyer. And so if you truly want to file this injunction, you can do it yourself. And then maybe along the way, somebody will pick it up, but you can definitely start the process. And that's just if you want to, try to, to save this house for whatever reason. So people out there that think that they need a lawyer, the Gonzalez's do not need a lawyer. They can do this pro se. In fact, that's what people have to do when, but I bet you that they could get people to help them undercover. Okay. And they just probably don't want their names attached to it. So, just saying. But there is ways. So I wanted to mention that they can definitely put their, they can file their case by themselves. And they could probably find people to help them, and they just would be like, off the record helping. But the demolition is going to be broadcast on this channel 24/7 with nonstop action while it's being destroyed. We're going to be truth and transparency by broadcasting it. We're doing some test runs today, tomorrow, and we're going to make sure that the spot we have chosen is going to be able to get us what we want. I can also tell you that you best believe we're going to be calling in noise complaints. We are going to be calling in noise complaints. There you guys go. It's done. Printing my 365 pages. I am fucking kidding. I am a pig in mud right now. I am literally ecstatic that this did this. Like, I can't even believe it. I'm fucking just technology. I'll tell you what. Fuck yeah, bitches. Because it got me this, which is Kootenai County Sheriff's Office report for incident 209946. Boom. That was a hard one to get, and I got it. So going back to the demolition, we have a spot picked. We're doing some test runs. We're going to be live 24/7 through the night, through the day. But you better believe we're going to be calling in noise complaints. Because if this is outside of, even if it's during the day, if this is loud, you best believe we're calling in noise complaints. I cannot imagine this demolition is going to be quiet. So, and it's legal if it's noisy, especially if they think that they're going to do this in the middle of the night. You can't just demo in the middle of the night and think that that's going to be quiet. That shit ain't going to keep me up. If I got my Airbnb right there, and this isn't going to keep me up. But we're going to be calling in some noise complaints if they think they're going to do this in the middle of the night. But they ain't going to be doing this loud. So, but they want to destroy this house, and everybody keeps wondering why. Well, what DNA is in this house? What DNA is in this house that you need to destroy it so bad? Who's been in that house that we can't have that DNA ever popping up? If there's truly going to be a trial that starts in the summertime, guys, why would we need to destroy this house right now? That doesn't make any sense to me. If you were going to not have a trial for a couple years, I mean, I don't think that it should ever be destroyed, but you could kind of get down with that. But if this is going to be a trial that happens this summer, there is truly no reason to be destroying this house right now. What's 6 more months? It's been up a year. What's 6 more months? Now they picked December 28th. People say, why that date? Well, because no one's going to be on campus. That's why. No kids. And the locals are just going to keep their mouths shut because that's what they do. They're not going to ruffle any feathers, you know. But I want to know, I want to know if the people that have been calling in noise complaints, okay, because I know who you are, and I'm going to talk about it. I want to know if you're going to be calling in noise complaints, because if you don't, I'm going to be calling you out because I'm going to know how loud it is there. And I want to know, why aren't you calling in noise complaints? Okay. You're going to call in noise complaints over some country music, some Drake, some country, but you're not going to call in noise complaints over some crazy ass heavy machinery knocking down a house. I find that hard to believe. I just sent a super sticker and it's not showing. Oh, I probably know why. Hold on one second. I'll help you out there. Let's see. Because I didn't monetize the show. Thank you. You just reminded me to monetize the show. I don't do it for the money, guys. I do it for the love. There you go. Subscribers. There you go. That should hopefully help. If not, I have no idea. YouTube does their own thing. They just do their own thing, and I say sure. So I'm curious who's going to be calling in noise complaints, because it's going to be noisy. Now Megyn Kelly started talking about the Brian Kohlberger case. I'm going to tell you why she's talking about the Brian Kohlberger case. I did an episode back. It's probably been at least a month now, where I showed Megyn Kelly interviewing JonBenet Ramsey's dad. Okay, remember? And it was all about this IGG. And it was like JonBenet Ramsey's dad knew a bunch of shit, okay? And I'm like, how does this dude know this, okay? Well, it's because he's been begging people to do IGG work with his daughter's case, and they just haven't, right? And so Megyn Kelly said, hey, we'll make some noise about it. We'll get people to talk about it if you go back and you listen to that episode. Well, here, Megyn Kelly decides that she's going to make some noise and talk about the Idaho4 case, which I love it. I love when people want to talk about cases and bring attention to them and so on and so forth. But I happened to get a link, and I enjoy a good laugh. And I got a link that was sent to me. I'm not going to say by who, but it was, I think I've never watched this person personally, JB Gunner, but it was a link. It was a 53-second clip, and I'm going to play it because I started dying laughing. And I'm just like, what is this? And it was, Megyn Kelly was talking about Brian Kohlberger getting numbers. Well, he was at that pool party. Remember that pool party? And so I'm going to play this little, let me see. I'm going to play this little clip. Let me pull it up. Only because, like I said, I thought it was funny. I think, let's see. It's a clip from, where is it? Here we go. Okay. Now let me share this with you. Share screen. Okay. Okay, here we go.
Kohlberger abruptly jumped up without warning and approached a girl in a black thong bikini with pink hair and a complex tattoo design on her left thigh.
One of them hoes.
Then Kohlberger, after only a brief conversation, asked her for her phone number.
And
he got it.
Ah! Kohlberger!
Next,
Watch
as if
this.
a man on a
Watch
mission,
this.
He turned to the pink-haired woman's friend, also in a black two-piece, and asked for her number too.
And he got it.
And he succeeded once
Bam!
again.
Kohlberger pimping.
Only after that, perhaps feeling he had accomplished.
Let me give a shout out to Brian Kohlberger. Brian Kohlberger was laying it down. That's two broads in bikinis with complex tattoos showing. Right then, Kohlberger was able to snatch not just one, but the bitch's friend too. Incel my ass.
Incel my
That's
ass.
all he set out to do.
Sorry, dead right there. Incel my ass. Lost it when this was sent to me. 57-second clip. I said, "What is this?" Well, it's Megyn Kelly. It's Megyn Kelly talking about the Brian Kohlberger case. Okay, cue in some big pimping from Jay-Z. Incel my ass. He's over there asking for people's numbers, and they're just giving it to him. Allegedly. And we're going to listen to it one more time. One more time because I think it's that good. Incel my ass.
Kohlberger abruptly jumped up without warning and approached a girl in a black thong bikini with pink hair and a complex tattoo design on her left thigh.
One of them hoes.
Then Kohlberger, after only a brief conversation, asked her for her phone number.
And
he got it.
Ah! Kohlberger!
Next,
Watch
as if
this.
A man on a
Watch
mission,
this.
He turned to the pink-haired woman's friend, also in a black two-piece, and asked for her number too.
And he got it.
And he succeeded
Bam!
once again.
Kohlberger pimping.
Only after that, perhaps feeling he had accomplished.
Let me give a shout out to Brian Kohlberger. Brian Kohlberger was laying it down. That's two broads in bikinis with complex tattoos showing. Right then, Kohlberger was able to.
Then the next best part about this is that he has Demetrius up on the screen. Like, shit, you can get Emma, but Brian Kohlberger get two girls, same party, same time. Kohlberger pimping. And then I felt so bad. I noticed his tip jar had no money in it. And I'm like, where's the love on Christmas? Christmas. So complex tattoos, thong bikinis. And then the last part says, but you guys want to call Brian Kohlberger incel. Incel my ass. He just pops on up. I'm going to ask this girl for her number. Get it. And then I'm going to ask this person for their number. Get it. Two friends giving up their phone number. And I wonder if it was to talk about criminology. Well, maybe it was about biology, okay? But we don't even know if any of that is true. Like, who are these girls that gave up their phone numbers? Why aren't they on the Megyn Kelly show to say, yep, I gave my number to Brian Kohlberger and Brian Kohlberger gave me his? You know, nobody has ever said that. So I just thought this was hilarious. And Tia, thank you there. Thank you. Appreciate you. 10 months. We just had a baby. But I said to myself when this was sent to me, after I was laughing, of course, rewound and played it again. And I said, oh my God, what is Megyn Kelly talking about right now? What is Megyn Kelly talking about right now? She is talking about stuff that has never been proven to this day. And by God, like I said, thank God you are pretty. Thank God you are pretty. Because what are you talking about? You know, what are you talking about? And then JP Gunner, I think that's his name.
Snatch not just one, but the bitch's friend too. Incel my ass.
Accomplished all he set out to do. More, in fact. Brian quietly shuffled off while the party. Kohlberger abruptly jumped up without warning and approached a girl in a black thong bikini with pink hair and a complex tattoo design on her left thigh.
One of them hoes.
Then Kohlberger, after only a brief conversation, asked her for her phone number.
And
he got it.
Ah! Kohlberger!
Next,
Watch
as if
this.
a man on a
Watch
mission,
this.
He turned to the pink-haired woman's friend, also in a black two-piece, and asked for her number too.
And he got it.
And he succeeded once
Bam!
again.
Kohlberger pimping.
Only after that, perhaps feeling he had accomplished.
Let me give a shout out to Brian Kohlberger. Brian Kohlberger was laying it down. That's two broads in bikinis with complex tattoos showing. Right then, Kohlberger was able to snatch not just one, but the bitch's friend too. Incel my ass.
Accomplished all he set out to do.
That's the best part.
More, in
Incel
fact,
my ass.
Brian quietly shuffled off while the party. Kohlberger abruptly.
Brian quietly shuffled off. Anyways, guys, had to share that with you guys. That literally, I could not. Okay. I'm sending that to people that don't even know the case, right? Family. They're like, what are you doing? Super chats. I don't see it there, but I do see these people. So you might want to just start yelling at YouTube. But that's what I see. But there's your super chat right there. Felt so bad for this guy in his tip jar. $0. Okay. Anyways, I don't know what Megyn Kelly's talking about. This, though, had me rolling on Christmas. With all the true crime that I cover and that you guys cover and you guys watch as well, there's times where you need a laugh. And this was that time. This was that time because you got people that think, Brian Kohlberger is just like this, incel. If then you hear the story come out that he's just hollering at bitches and hoes at some pool party. But yet none of these people who have given their number to Brian Kohlberger seem to come forward and tell anybody about it. Or vice versa, that I got Brian Kohlberger's number. Yeah, he asked me for my number. He said I was cute. And so I gave it to him. And then I took his number too, because he texted me and then I saved it. This is from a Howard Bloom article. Well, I think someone needs to tell Megyn Kelly that we love Howard, but everything that Howard says is not true. There is some fascination in there. There is some, fiction. It's fiction writing. But I do say that Howard does have some sources, definitely. No doubt about it. But this, I don't even know what to say. But anyways, I wanted to share the laugh with you guys. So Megyn Kelly, JB Gunner talking about Kohlberger pimping. And like that, there he goes. So I wanted to share that little clip with you. Oh, God. So back to this demolition. Let's think about the ways that they could possibly hide the demolition. Are they just going to let people? So let me get this straight. What's in the house right now? Okay, so if you're going to demolish it, right? What's in the house though right now? Because everybody's been going back there to check out the house, right? And I have to imagine that you're seeing stuff when you go in there. You're not just looking at a blank house. You know what I mean? So what's in this house? Thank you there. Let me say this really quick. Michelle, where do they come up with these stories so ridiculous? Lana, I love it when you laugh so hard. I'm laughing right along with you. I know sometimes, man, you just got to laugh. You just got to laugh. But thank you for that. Thank you for all of the super stickers and super chats. So what's in the house that when they're going to start demolishing it, that we're going to be able to see? I know there's a lot of talk right now about that there's possibly tunnels underneath the house, and that's why they're demolishing it. I'm cool as shit with Drip Drop. Love his work. He actually puts work into it, like he does investigative stuff. He goes out and gets the material. I think that we do that here. And I think that's why we probably kick it and kick it so well in terms of like that we have a lot of respect for each other, because I think that we put a lot of work into what we're talking about. We're not just, I don't even know. We're actually, I think, providing stuff. We go out and do FOIA requests. So I know right now he's doing some talks and has been on who's possibly lived in that house before. We've talked about that here. We showed how Coomer has, that was his childhood home growing up. We showed that, and his parents got divorced and how that all split apart. And then there's the talks of like the tunnels underneath the house, and is this why they're destroying it? To me, I think it has stuff to do with more recent stuff in terms of whose DNA could possibly be in that house. If we destroy the house and we haven't come across that DNA yet, we would never then come across that DNA. So for me, it possibly has to do with DNA in the house. Once you destroy it, you're not getting anything out of that house anymore, right? So, but I want to talk about what is in, there you go. I think it's DNA related. Yeah, so do I. I do. I think it's DNA related. People know if they've been in that house, and people know if they're on the inside, if it's been found yet, you know? So, but I want to know what's in the house right now. I want to know what's in the house. So like when they're destroying this, this house, what are we going to be able to see? What are we going to be able to see? Are we going to be able to see, like, do they take out all the cups, all like the plates, pots, pans? Like what is in the house right now? Is it just a bare house, or is there stuff in it? What's in the walls? You know, people think that the knife is there, that it's up and under, and that's why the blood was dripping down on the one side. I just think it's crazy that everybody wants the house to stay, you're either on the side of Brian Koberger's guilty or you're on the side that he's innocent, but both sides want the house to stay when you talk to all these people that talk about the case. So that's what's kind of crazy to me, is that when you have, here's the one thing that everybody can agree on, and they're going to wreck the house. So that to me, that's interesting. The one thing that literally the world can agree about, can agree on, is that, hey, we should keep this house, you know? And then this is the one thing that, okay, we're going to do the opposite. I think that the house, for me, I try to take the angles and try to really, really show you guys how close. Yes, it is sus to us, isn't it? You guys, these rooms were on top of each other. These rooms are like literally, if Dylan opens up her door, what she truly sees from not even stepping outside of her room, to take that angle and to look and to see that, you guys, in what you can hear, you can never get back that part of it. I want you to stand upstairs and scream. I want you to stand downstairs, or I want you to run down the stairs. I mean, do you think that Brian Koberger was like tiptoeing down and up the stairs, or whoever killed anybody? You think he was tiptoeing up the stairs? Do you think that he was tiptoeing down the stairs? And then I don't think people get it. If Maddie and Kaylee were killed first, and the knife is the same knife, and the blood transfer shows that Maddie was killed and Kaylee was killed, and then the other two were killed, right? You have to, when you come down those stairs, you would go right out to the kitchen, okay? Why would Brian Koberger, if the intent was a target, he kills them, or whoever did this, when you come down the stairs, okay, are you going to sit here and say that he got turned around in the house and he thought that he was going outside and walks into Xana's room? Or what makes more sense is that he would have had to encounter them maybe in the kitchen when he was trying to leave, or something like that, because otherwise you can't sit here and say that those two were targeted. You get what I'm saying? Like if those two were targeted and they were killed first, I think Brian Koberger just comes down, or again, who the perpetrator is, comes downstairs and goes right out to the outside. So just think about that. He had no reason to go over to that room. Just like if he's going to go looking for people, why wouldn't he look right into Dylan's room? Maybe he did, and Dylan really wasn't in there, you know? It's not like the killer could take the stand and say, hey, they're lying. I know for a fact Dylan was in that room because I checked it 3 times and nobody was in that room. You know what I mean? No one's going to be able to come out and say that did it. But the person who did it, or the people that did it, they're probably sitting back. Maybe if it even is Kohlberger. I don't see any evidence right now that it's Kohlberger, but at trial, maybe I'll feel differently. Show me the evidence, and I'm going to sit here and tell you I follow the evidence. Give it to me. Let me help you prove it. Let me help you disprove it, whatever it may be. I want to help get truth so that you can have real justice, right? I'm not pro anybody. I'm pro getting the right people, man. Period. That's what this channel is all about, right? So here, nobody can possibly say, hey guys, they're totally lying because I'm the killer and I opened up that door, 3 times and nobody was in that room, because they would have been a goner. All right. So just think about this. Brian Kohlberger, or the killer or killers, upstairs, come downstairs and decide not to just leave and go out the kitchen, right? But they're like, let's just go and kill other people because they're not the target. Why would anybody do that? Why would anybody? Well, we can't think like an insane person, right? We think logically, rationally, right? But then here's a killer, and your target's upstairs, leave and just leave. So you can't sit here and tell me that the targets were upstairs. Okay. If the order is the way that you're saying it, Maddie, Kaylee, and then whatever it is for Ethan and Xana. Unless the fight with one of those two began before the bedroom of Xana and Ethan's bedroom over there. Because otherwise you'd be seeking them out. Okay. I'm walking you through the crime scene. I'm walking you through, at some point, that house, you'd want to see every little drop, every possible. This is what I talked heavily with Scott Roeder about. The crime scene, if they are only in the bedrooms, is very, very important in telling. Okay. Because then you sought out both of the rooms. Okay. But if there's any signs, now how can you tell if there was a disturbance if it was a party house and like there's shit, you know what I mean? Like you need Dylan or Bethany to tell you how the house looked before they went to bed, right? But how could you tell if there was a party in your house if there would be like I still don't understand where they think that this killer put the knife. Where's the knife after you stab the 2 people upstairs? Are you just holding the knife like this and coming out? Do you have a hoodie on and you're putting your knife in your hoodie pouch? I mean, where are you putting this knife? If you're putting it in your pants pocket? I mean, so that it wouldn't be dripping as you're leaving. Okay. There's blood all over this knife. Where's the blood droppings when you're leaving from that top bedroom to come downstairs? If you're carrying the knife down by, you're walking and you're carrying it like a scissors, so you're having it down. I mean, it just, you would think that in order for Xana and Ethan to be attacked, they're in their bedroom and they'd already gotten the DoorDash. So the DoorDash time is going to be so critical. Did they already have their food and were they in the bedroom before Brian Kohlberger or the killer entered, right? And then this person ate. Is there going to be any signs of eating in Xana and Ethan's bedroom? Okay, did you eat in your room? All right. And then you came out to go throw it on the kitchen counter versus throwing it in the garbage can. I mean, That garbage can better be full of shit that I would just throw it somewhere else. And then by that, then did you encounter Brian Kober as he was coming down to leave? And then, but how does it get back into Ethan and Xana's room if you're trapped and you can't, you know what I'm saying? Like there'd have to be some type of, and that was my big thing with Jennifer Coffindaffer when she was talking about something. I'm like, I guess she doesn't get it, because if the target was Maddie, there's no reason to kill Ethan and Xana unless you encounter one of them, like outside of that bedroom, of their bedroom where they're at. Because otherwise Dylan would be dead too. If he was just opening up doors and making sure that there was nobody else there, because he was just going to kill everybody in there, you know? But the thing about this, talk about Dylan needs to go play the lottery. Dylan opened her door 3 times, and never once did Brian Koberger hear somebody opening and closing a door. I would want to hear that as a juror. I want you to open and close that bedroom door, and I want to hear that. I want to hear what that would sound like, because I want to know if that happened. Because Brian Koberger is hearing somebody, or the killer is hearing somebody opening and closing doors, and doesn't think to themselves, like, who the fuck is opening and closing doors? Then you have the version of, what's her tits? Ashley Banfield, that says she opened up the door, and not only did she open it, but she yells out for them to shut the fuck up. Shut up. Like, be quiet. What are you doing? Well, then if you throw that in the mix, you're telling me Brian Koberger didn't hear that, or the killer or killers didn't hear that, to say where is this coming from? To think that they're just going to leave, and that here, then on the 3rd time, when she opens the door, she sees him, but he doesn't see her after all that noise that she was, opening, closing, yelling, and he's just going to go right past that. I mean, who believes this? Who, think about it in the opening statement that the prosecution's going to give. Think about it. It's just... If he runs into Ethan or Xana and kills them, why wouldn't he, when he would have run into Dylan, wouldn't he have killed her? And their answer is that he didn't see her. Well, guess what, guys? That neon light that is on, that says good vibes, it's downstairs. Do you know how light that is? Do you know how much light that emulates? I mean, and that's even saying if all the lights were off, because we all know what we did in college. At least we did it all the time. We left our lights on all the time. Remember when our parents would yell at us and be like, God, every fucking light in this house is on. What are you doing? Shut off the lights. Well, that little neon, that was on. And it would light up that area. And so I call bullshit alone on that light being on. You would see Dylan with that light on, because it's that much light and it's that close, like you're on top of it. And unless this person who killed the people was just closing his eyes while he was walking. I'd like to see the power bill for the last 2 years. Yeah, to prove that the lights were on all the time. So, Alana, did you do a FOIA on the 911 log from 2 to 2:30? Not sure if I did or not. I can go back and check. But I'm just curious how the prosecution, if they're going to open and say that they happen to just run into the killer, Brian ran into Ethan and Xana, and it had to be such in a way that Xana then would have been right by the kitchen and the door of like Bethany's, or not Bethany's, but Dylan's room. Okay. And you would hear all this running around, right? This running. And then screaming to say like, oh my God, call the police, or, oh my God, like, I mean, nobody's using their phones. They have their phones by them. But then to think that if he took out them and it wasn't intentional, but, you know, if you listen to the Gonsalveses, that's what Christy believes. Christy believes that it was, the target was Maddie, and that Kaylee just happened to be in that bed sleeping. And then so Kaylee was trapped, and Kaylee, you know, was killed because of where she was. And that basically when he came downstairs, and that would mean that he had to somehow run into, you know, Ethan or Xana, and that's why they were killed. If you listen to Christy Gonsalves talk about that. And then my take on that is that either A, Dylan wasn't in that second bedroom upstairs, or she seriously has to, like, she needs to go play the lottery because she's the luckiest person. You know, you can't have it both ways. You can't have it both ways to think that you're going to take out people because you ran into them, right? And they were not supposed to be taken out. But you're going to sit here and say that Dylan wouldn't have been taken out when she's screaming and yelling and telling people to shut up, closing her door, opening her door, closing her door, opening her door, closing her door. And then stands there. And she sees him, but he doesn't see her. And then she just decides that she's going to curl up and go to bed. And then in the morning, they don't call 911 until almost noon, but they call other people. I think these opening statements are going to be really special. I think they're going to be, you know, they said Brian Kohlberger's our guy, you know. But yet we have DNA that we don't even know who it belongs to in the house. And so if I'm a juror, how do you get the sound back if you wreck the house? I want to be able to hear somebody yelling from Dylan's room to saying shut the fuck up. I want to hear somebody coming down the stairs and what it would sound like. And I want to hear I can't wait for the part of the test when Dylan's going to testify and say, why did you say you were sleeping downstairs? And I want to know if she says, I never said that. The cops just did that to keep me protected, to keep me, because I was a witness and they didn't want it to come out that I was a witness. But really, wait, what are you a witness to? You didn't witness the crimes. Because if you witnessed the crimes, then why didn't you fucking call 911? You're not a witness because you didn't call 911. Witnesses call 911. Okay? That's what they do. Witnesses call 911 if they saw something. But you thought everything was fine because you guys, that's what happens every other night in that house. Screaming, yelling, acting like fucking carrying on, right? But how accurate is Linda Lane? The reason I say this is how accurate is Linda Lane because how loud was it around that time? Like, were people being quiet around that time? Was this all out of the blue that it got loud? And, you know, because remember her whole saying is that Dylan just thought that there was people partying still. People partying, right? Well, the way that it looks like to me is, and to anybody else that has a brain, is that Kaylee and Maddie were either asleep or being killed at 2:52 because they never used their phones again after 2:52 a.m. 2:52 a.m., they never used their phones again. Now, in the Murdoch murders with the son and the wife, They placed the time of death and that he did it because they never used their phones again. And that's when it had to have been. Okay. So you're either going to say that they were sleeping or that they were being killed. Those are the only two things. So there was no being loud. So Maddie and Kaylee aren't being loud. Toss them out because they're either dead or they're asleep. All right. So then you look at, now you have Ethan, Xana. Who else is in the house? Dylan, Bethany. What are y'all doing? What were you guys doing? Because this is the other thing. Who said that everybody went to sleep and that they were in their rooms by a certain point in time? Everybody was home by 2 and in their rooms by 4. Well, the only person that could ever say that would be the last person up. And what'd you do? Walk around and do like a call, like a, okay, yep, they're in their room. Okay, yep, she's in their room. Okay, yep, they're in their room. There's only one person. I mean, who could truly say that? You would have to be up at that time. And then this is the part that makes absolutely no sense. Dylan said that she was awoken by this. That means that you would have to go to sleep to be awoken by something, right? Well, then if you went to sleep, then how would you know what time anybody else went to sleep if you were already sleeping? Okay, like what time did Dylan go to sleep? Let's take a look at her phone. If she's using her phone and apps that you were actually like texting and stuff like that, she doesn't sleep, but she was just awoken because she went to sleep. Wait, what? But I thought, then who is the person saying that everybody was in their rooms by 4? Are you saying that everybody was in their rooms by 4 because they got the DoorDash and that came at 4 and so they got the food and then they went to their rooms? I mean, who is saying this? And then you know how kind of bad that sounds? If you truly think about how bad that sounds, the person that knew to tell somebody that, hey, they're all in their rooms. Come on through. Everybody's in their rooms. Everybody's separated. But here, how loud could it have possibly been? If everybody's in their rooms, there was no partying. So what in the world is Dylan coming out and yelling and thinking that there's still partying going on? If she, in fact, thinks that everybody's in their room. She's going to have to say, oh, I was yelling at Ethan and Xana. You get what I'm saying? Like this, if you think about this all logically and you take it through a timeline and you go A to B to D to Z, you just keep on going. And that's why I think it's imperative for the defense to point this out. Because what they're saying happened does not make sense. Like, this is not possible. For example, if I have a little baby and he's crying, my baby was crying, he woke me up, I got up out of bed, I went and got my little baby, I changed his diaper, I rocked him, I put him back to sleep, and I left the room. Okay? So I did something because I heard him crying. I didn't just hear him crying and then I didn't do anything. But then I heard him crying again, but I didn't know if he was crying. So like I kind of got up and just like walked to my, I mean, what the fuck are you talking about? But so when did you go to sleep? Like that's how Dylan sounds. She just, or this, I shouldn't even say that's how Dylan sounds. That's how they're making it be that Dylan sounds, because Dylan, these are not Dylan's words. These are a PCA that the police put in. So how I look at all this is not Dylan's statement. We will hear Dylan's statement when we see police reports, okay? And not even the police reports. I want them recorded. I want these puppies, okay? I want to hear Dylan's statements to police officers. I want to hear Bethany's statements to police officers. And then I want to hear their shit on the stand, because I don't give a fuck what's in the PCA. That PCA means shit to me. You know why? Because I've seen enough of them from Idaho. And they lie. I have a police officer that I can prove lied about where somebody was when they called 911. So I want to talk about the 911 call. Where truly was the person that called 911 in this case? Because they lied about it in the Jennifer Drake case. That's why I got these puppies. And I'm about to prove it. I've already proven it, but like I really like to go above and beyond. Like I want to have it so many ways that I want a piece of that humble pie that they're going to have to talk about, and they're going to be paying out some serious cash. If I'm the Gonsalveses, I'm suing the shit out of everything that's taken place right here. I've tried to tell him that he needs to look into some stuff. You need to look into how they're running investigations in other cases, okay? Because it's called protocol, all right? It's called protocol. And you need to see who takes over cases and when they take them over and who are they truly working with and what's the goals here. All right, they had all eyes on Moscow, Idaho, pretty much immediately, like on the 15th. And so everybody has said to me, Lana, have you ever seen any bodies come out? Lana, have you ever seen bodies come out? Have you ever seen an ambulance there? Have you ever seen this? Have you ever seen that? And the answer to all of that is no, right? We haven't seen it, right? No one's seen it. That's why truth and transparency is not going to let that happen again. We are going to be there for the demo. This channel is going to run 24/7 until the demo is all the way down. Okay. We have a camera there. We will be streaming it live. You know how Jonathan Lee Richards stands over at the border right now? And people have asked me to go to the border. I can't go to the border right now. My calling right now is in Idaho, December 28th, until the point that is no longer standing. We are going to see everything that comes out of that house. We are going to be calling in noise complaints if they're doing anything past any hours that you shouldn't be doing. And if it's a little too loud, we are going to call in noise complaints. Okay? Noise complaints, noise complaints, noise complaints. You are not going to get around me and my noise complaints because you're not going to do things in the middle of the night. You're not going to do things that you think you can hide shit. We're going to be there. And I'm going to tell you this. If none of these people that have been calling in noise complaints, if they do not pick up the phone and call in noise complaints when this demo is happening, I am going to fucking put your shit on blast. Why? Because I can. Because it's my opinion. This should have you in an uproar with noise. Okay? And that's what I think they're going to say. Oh, I was out of town, so I didn't hear the noise. I knew what was going on ahead of time, so I left. Well, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to make sure that that's accurate. And I'm going to have people stand over there at the addresses that I know that you guys are calling from. And we'll see if you're there. I'm so sick and tired of people choosing when they want certain things when they want to use certain things. You can't use noise complaints. And then now when there's going to be noisy. I want those people, they're doing it when the college is on break, right? Well, guess what? Just because your college is on break doesn't mean the kids, they go home or whatever. But if any of these kids truly gave a damn, why aren't they getting up on the roofs and video recording that shit? Throw a party. You guys are getting your wish. The house is being destroyed. Throw a party. Get a kegger going. Sit up on top of the roof. Video record it. You guys do all these Snapchats and all this bullshit anyways. Start doing that. No, because they're all scared. But we're going to be there. Hopefully Enon will be there. I know some people said get Enon in on this, but News Nation should be there. All these people that are talking about the case, they should be there. They have all the money in the world to do it. They should be there already because I'm not going to lie to you. They told us that it's going to happen on the 28th. Think about this. Just because they say it's happening on the 28th doesn't mean it can't happen tomorrow. Right? Just because they said it's happening on the 28th, they can say, we're going to go ahead and do it tomorrow. And then everybody's not there until the 28th. Also, the 28th starts at midnight, 12:01. Are they going to start going at the house at 12:01? And if they do, I'm going to be calling it in. Hell no, you're not going to be doing this at 12:01. This is a quiet time. You can't do anything like that from 11 p.m. until, I don't even know if it's 9 a.m., 8 a.m. So if they think they're going to be doing stuff between 11 p.m. and 8 a.m., that's not happening on my watch. And then like, what are they gonna do? Are they gonna put up a fence around it so you guys can't see what's going on? Because if they put up a fence around this and they truly put in like something like this, like they have like the fences that have, you know, the cloth. If they do that, I am going to rage. You know why? Because that's what I've been asking for the whole time. Is if you don't want people to see this house, you put up a fence that has the cloth around it and you can't see it. You can't see it. You know, the green cloth crap. You can't see it. And so you put that up, you know. People are like, get a drone. Well, got a drone. We got a drone. But if this case is truly going to go to trial in summer, this house should be fine to stay up. You put the fence around it and you do your little green fence and it's like this and you can't see anything. And I'm telling you this right now, those kids don't give a shit if that house is up or down. That doesn't bother them. Do you guys understand that? These kids aren't going to school and texting each other and saying, oh my God, when is this house going to be destroyed? I get anxiety every time I walk by it. That's not happening. That is just not happening. You guys do understand that, right? That is not happening. These fraternities and sororities are not texting each other. They don't give a shit if the house is there or not. In fact, they probably want the house to stay and be re-rented out so that they could have partying neighbors, because that lot is awesome. The house and that backyard, and you know, that house was sweet, right? It's a great college party house. The kids don't give a shit. But oh, how they like to gaslight, and oh, how they like to manipulate situations and say, we're doing this so the kids don't have to see it, and blah, 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 blah. You know, that's just more like, whoever believes that, you're a fucking moron. That's just fact. And I know people have said that nobody wants to take on the university. Well, then you do it pro se, you do it yourself. If no one's going to take it on, and you at least try it yourself. So if the guns officers really don't want the house down, they can file themselves. And they can file it before the 28th. But I'm curious to think that why anybody thinks it's going to happen on the 28th. Why can't it just happen tomorrow, the 27th? Just because they said something, like, who gives a shit what they say? They can do whatever they want, right? Yeah, they don't care how the parents feel, I guess. I don't know. I think it's a piece of evidence. I think that all these other cases, they've been keeping school shootings that happen in the school. In case you guys are wondering why that's up on my screen, I do want to play it one more time. Megyn Kelly has been covering the case. And
Kohlberger abruptly jumped up without warning and approached a girl in a black thong bikini with pink hair and a complex tattoo design on her left thigh.
One of them hoes.
Then Kohlberger, after only a brief conversation, asked her for her phone number. And he got it.
Ah! Kohlberger!
Next,
Watch this.
Man on a
Watch
mission,
this.
He turned to the pink-haired woman's friend, also in a black two-piece, and asked for her number too.
And he got it.
And he succeeded once
Bam!
again.
Kohlberger pimping.
Only after that, perhaps feeling he had accomplished.
Let me give a shout out to Brian Kohlberger. Brian Kohlberger was laying it down. That's two broads in bikinis with complex tattoos showing. Probably thin. Kohlberger was able to snatch not just one, but the bitch's friend too. Incel my ass.
Just all he'd set out to do. More, in fact. Brian quietly shuffled off while the party.
Incel my ass. Fucking love it. That's going down on a t-shirt. Incel my ass. Kohlberger pimping. Like, come on, man. Megyn Kelly starts talking about the case, and she's talking about this pool party. Next thing I know, I get this in my DMs and on Christmas, and I lose it. And I'm like, this is wild, you know. And I said, thank God Megyn Kelly's a good-looking girl, because what she is just saying, somebody needs to help her right now. She needs to go back to interviewing John Benet Ramsey's parents or the dad. But put that in the intro. Yeah. Cold booger pimping, you know. God. Let's talk about this, guys. Not sure if you know this. Do you guys know that it's Coomer Scott Green? Do you guys know that he is worth over $2.8 billion? He's a billionaire. What president or what billionaire decides that, you know what, I'm going to go and put my, name in to be the next president of the University of Idaho and make $450,000 a year? Coomer Scott Green, a billionaire. We put it out there last week just to remind people that how much Coomer Scott Green is worth. And they have a house in Florida. So his wife, Gabriella, she's always in Florida. But what billionaire goes from Wall Street to fucking Idaho? Okay. $450,000 a year is what he gets paid. But the guy is a billionaire. And so much so, $2.8 billion. I want to know, how did Coomer Scott Green make his money? Yep, a billionaire working right there next to a lot of young children, right? I'm going to go take a job for $400,000 a year at the same university where the house for people would be murdered in is, even though I'm a billionaire, not worried at all. But then how about this? Then he's involved in this acquiring of University of Phoenix online school, right? And there's a whole big, whoa, like, wait a second. Stuff wasn't done right and to acquire this. And so he's in this big old... So he's got the Idaho4 that happens. And guess what he said he wanted and why he wanted to come? And guess what his little motto was? It was about making U of I safer. It was about safety. His whole big thing was, and I'm thinking to myself, wait, University of Idaho wasn't safe? So I wanted to go back and look at that. Why did this guy think it wasn't safe here? What's going on? And here it is, stuff just gets pushed under the rug, pushed under the rug at University of Idaho. So much so that you really have to dig to find out, are you guys labeling stuff that's hazing? Is it murder? Are you guys labeling ODs? Is it, you know what I mean? But why would Coomer Scott Green want to go and be the president of his, university? He's a billionaire. Okay. And his pitch was that it wasn't safe. He wants to make it safer. It was all about safety and campus policing. And then you find out that they put in, what was it? They put in this undercover task force, and then boom, Idaho4 happens. But why would he want to become the president here? For what purpose? And then people can say, well, why did Trump want to become the president of the United States? So what? I didn't realize that Idaho was in shambles. So, but something's going on over there. Never realized I never realized what Idaho and the travel to Canada, and then you travel down and you got to travel through Idaho to go to, Mexico from Canada too, and then you got Washington right off there. But if you go back to the first presser, what in the fucking world is Coomer Scott Green. We said it here on this channel. Bella has been a huge person about this. She says, what in the world is the president of the university having anything to do with a presser from the police? Go back and watch that first press conference and the second one and the third one. But why is, I mean, the president of the university, it says, like, this isn't an investigation, right? Criminal investigation. What are you can't tell him anything, but they did. Remember the mayor coming out and saying this was a freaking crime? This was a crime of passion. Remember the mayor? I mean, who's telling these people stuff? And then you have, lo and behold, who I thought was just like a little dingy. No, he's corrupt. And I'm going to say it, my opinion is that Backseat Bill does an interview, and he says that he would send his kids there because he knows more. And it's because he knew who the killer was, allegedly. And corruption doesn't start from fucking patrol cops. Corruption starts from the top down. Okay? And you're putting people in certain places. And it's like, wow, the university brings in Coomer Scott Green for what? They wanted the university run like a business. They needed to make money. I mean, he's a business guy. Coomer Scott Green is a businessman, right? So what has he done? What has he done for the university? I have no fucking clue. I try to look at it and I'm just like, all he talked about was his safety. The campus wasn't safe. And I'm like, what? Well, he's saying the campus isn't safe. The campus isn't safe. And then boom, for quadruple murder. Well, yeah, you're right. Campus isn't safe. Well, it was until you got there, you know. I don't know. I wasn't reading about quad murders before Coomer Scott, you know, graced us over there. But Coomer Scott, now, in January, we're getting this little black book with 150 names. And I have a bet with one of my mods, Miss Potts over here. She thinks that Coomer Scott Green's name is going to be in the Epstein book. I said, get the fuck out of here. She says, I'm telling you, Lana, watch it. And I said, I will buy you a steak dinner and drinks all night long if it comes out that Coomer Scott Green is in Epstein's book, like the black book of names. And she says, I'm telling you, man, he's a billionaire from that area. And I was like, oh my God. You know, where is she? Is she still in chat? I know that she's out there doing something. And people are like, I'm with Miss Potts. You know, it's spelled Coomer like this. I'll buy you a steak dinner if I'm wrong. No, but I mean, and I'm like, then when you think about it, he's a billionaire. He's got money, man, ton of money. How did he make it? You know, how did he make his money? How did Coomer Scott Green make his money? You know, if you go actually look at his path in life, his parents went through a horrible divorce. He lived in that 1122 King Road house. So think about this, and the odds of that his house, his childhood home, has this horrific crime happen in it. Once he gets back there, and it's a house that's got that pervy dude, you know, that house just has horrible bad juju. But he's a billionaire. He's worth $2.8 billion. His net worth went from 2.18 billion to 2.82 billion. It's a lot of money. I don't know what the fuck he's doing. I mean, maybe he just needed to lay low. I don't know. But then he gets himself caught in some crazy shit. This case, and then right after it, boom, he gets hit with, you were trying to get the University of Phoenix in some, you know, and purchase this. And it, And then that had to be like recalled. So who owns the University of Phoenix right now? You know, don't know. Got to go back and look at some stuff. But there's just, woo, his net worth increased by tens of millions after the murders. It did. It went from being 2.18 to being 2.82 billion. So it increased a shit ton, actually, when you look at the percentages. So that is true. Critical thinking cat, Miss Potts right there. It did. And then Miss Potts says that, you know, Coomer and the Chapins play golf together. So I don't know. But so keep your eye out for the little black book that's going to come out, the Epstein names. Now I'm going to show you guys let's see. You know, we put in like 6 requests, and Moscow, Idaho has not gotten back on these latest requests. And they only have 3 days to get back in some capacity and see if they need more time. And so they're failing epically with that. And I get that it's around the holidays and stuff like that, but they're definitely they're failing epically with that. And they can get in trouble for that. Deja vu, baby, 9 months. We had a baby. Give it up, give it up. Woo woo. V Slim's gifted 5 Truth and Transparency memberships. Thank you so much. Who got to turn green there? Look out. I don't know if you guys know this, that Coomer Scott Green donated to all the GoFundMes during the students' GoFundMes. That was $500 a piece that he gave to all the kids that had a GoFundMe. So I did get pictures of that back in the day when I was stashing away all the social medias of all the victims and people that were related in the case. Scott Green just wrote a book. Kind of interesting. Check it out. He just wrote a book. What's it called? Let's see. Miss Potts says that they play golf, so she can tell you where they play at. Hi, Carrie. How are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. Take a look at your guys' messages on the right-hand side here. Buy one copy and we will share it. We'll just have Bella read it to all of us. So one more time, though. Brian Kohlberger, definitely not an incel, according to this gentleman here. You know, Megyn Kelly following the case now. And again, thank God she's good looking.
Kohlberger abruptly jumped up without warning and approached a girl in a black thong bikini with pink hair and a complex tattoo design on her left thigh.
One of them hoes.
Then Kohlberger, after only a brief conversation, asked her for her phone number. And he got it.
Kohlberger!
Next,
Watch this. Watch this.
He turned to the pink-haired woman's friend, also in a black two-piece, and asked for her number too.
And he got it.
And he succeeded
Bam!
once again.
Kohlberger pimping.
Only after that, perhaps feeling he had accomplished.
Let me give a shout out to Brian Kohlberger. Brian Kohlberger was laying it down. That's 2 broads in bikinis with complex tattoos showing. Probably thin. Kohlberger was able to snap.
Megan Kelly digs deep. Look at that. Brian Kohlberger. And then the best part, we have Demetrius. Demetrius up here. He's like, hot damn, man, I'm only pulling Emma. Brian Kohlberger. Kohlberger pimping right here. Okay. Holy shit. Put that on a sweatshirt right here. You guys can't make this up, man.
That's not just one, but the bitch's friend too. Incel my ass.
Just all he
Incel my ass. You guys, I'm telling you, man, what a way to go out for the new year. Incel my ass. And then you got Demetrius up there like, man, Kohlberger pimping, okay? And Demetrius is like, damn, all I'm hitting is Emma, but I am getting rid of my drugs and I am not in jail no more. County let me go. That was just bee pollen, you know. But I want the incel my ass t-shirts, right? That's some funny ass shit. But this was sent to me on Christmas and I could not stop laughing. And I still can't stop laughing because Megan Kelly, look at how how can she say this with a straight face, y'all? Please tell me. So I'm going to make a short that has this with me, you know, I'm doing a voiceover on a voiceover, but with a complex tattoo design on her upper thigh. And then Kohlberger calmly steps away and shuffles away, puffs out his chest and says, I'm the man. No, I just look at, I mean, she can't, I would be cracking up to say this part.
Kohlberger abruptly jumped up without warning and approached a girl in a black thong bikini with pink hair.
Pink hair. Just had to throw that in there too. With pink hair.
And a complex tattoo.
You guys remember that date he went on and the person went on, what was it, like Snapchat, or she went on TikTok and she was talking about it. She had pink hair. Brian Kohlberger must have a thing for pink hair.
Design on her left thigh.
When I'm home.
And a complex tattoo design on her left thigh. Hair. And a complex tattoo design on her left thigh.
One of them hoes.
Then Kohlberger, after only a brief conversation, asked her for her phone number.
And
he got it.
Ah! Kohlberger!
Next,
Watch
as if
this.
a man on a
Watch
mission,
this.
He turned to the pink-haired woman's friend. Also in a black two-piece, and asked for her number too.
And he got it.
And he succeeded
Bam!
once again.
Kohlberger pimping.
Only after that, perhaps feeling he had accomplished.
Let me give a shout out to Brian Kohlberger. Brian Kohlberger was laying it down. That's two broads in bikinis with complex tattoos showing. Right then, Kohlberger was able to snatch not just one, but the bitch's friend too. Incel my ass.
Just all he set out to do.
Incel my ass. This is
Brian
Tina with What the Fuck Translation Services. What the fuck are you talking about, Megan Kelly? Incel my ass. This is Tina with What the Fuck Translation Services. I need to hear that one more time.
Kohlberger was able to snatch not just one, but the bitch's friend too. Incel my ass.
Just all he set out to do.
All right. On that note, you guys, I got nothing but love. So good to be back. Love all of you guys. 2 for 2. Megan Kelly just wants his number 2. I don't know, man. You got to laugh at that stuff, but definitely this is Tina with What the Fuck Translation Services. And what the fuck is Megan Kelly talking about? Do the shuffle, man. We're back. I'm going to be pumping them out. We got the Demolition coming. I got to get our angles good. I was all about them angles. And catch me a little bit later. I got nothing but Drake, the Drake murder. I got my woo, and I got my woo, and I got my woo. But you guys are great. Love you guys so much. Merry Christmas. We got just a couple more days until the new year kicks. And I'm not changing. I'm gonna keep on being this asshole that I am. And no. You guys rock.
Like brains, and like if you need a lot of brains, you're gonna be in trouble.
This November 29th.
4 people that were murdered, and you want to fuck around. You got 8 families that are being affected by this, and
the biggest name, nobody from the universe.
Shock value. And so what he did was he had taken pictures California.
oh, you're from. I would be outraged if I lived in Moscow right now. I'd be lighting some cars on fire out there. I'd be flipping some cars. I'd get the frats going wild with me. Let's get some noise complaints going.